Hey boyos, Thaladin here. I wanted to talk about the new updates to the Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker special official Square Enix site page because they've updated it slightly, and I've never taken a look at it on this channel holistically. So I want to just go through it real quick, look at the new updates, and also kind of theorize about what it might mean for the expansion because one or two updates are particularly interesting. So let me head on over there, and let's take a look at it together. Okay, so we have this beautiful landing page for Endwalker, where it talks about the story. Endwalker brings the tale of Thaladin and Zodiac to a conclusion, aeons in the making. To unravel its mysteries and conquer its challenges will be no common feat. May these records of key figures, looming adversaries, and lands yet untraveled serve you well. So this is something that we all know. Endwalker is bringing an end to the Thaladin and Zodiac story. For anybody who's still confused, that does not mean the game is ending. It does not mean the story is ending. From 6.1 onwards, they are setting up a new overarching story arc. So just the story that has been going on since A Realm Reborn launched is going to be concluding. And probably setting up a bunch of new stuff because the lore is just expanding wildly. Endwalker, yet shadowed by their triumphs in the fourth, we just skipped around. The Warrior of Light and the Silence of the Seventh Dawn are home at last. An even greater calamity than refulgent oblivion has been building up in their absence. However, a second advent of the final days. Should all despair, the myriad conflicts in our ravaged land cannot be foretoken? What kind of word is foretoken? Who uses that? That's an Urianger word. That is an Urianger word for sure. He wrote this bio. He was trying his best to not sound old Englishy, but he did it anyway. Yada yada yada, story stuff, nonsense. So towards New Horizons. So these are zones that we know exist. This is Old Charlan, which we know is the big city for the expansion. Labyrinthos, which I am unclear on. Let's just go over here. Deep below the strength of Old Charlan lies a vast subterranean environment created as a repository for tomes and treatises on every subject imaginable. This feels like a death cult bunker. Just off rip, that's always the impression I've gotten from it since its original reveal. We have the devastated Garlemald, which is super exciting to go see. God, it looks just so cool right there. But yeah, no, this place has been devastated by the Civil War and Fandaniel and Xenos throwing a party while Dad's dead, all that stuff. And then we have Thavnair, new zone. Thavnair looks gorgeous, very vibrant color palette. And Razad-Han is another city that we're going to. So this is stuff that we all knew before. It's not hugely surprising. We have the Mare Lamatorium, which is the moon place. Though its name may conjure images of the briny deep, this region of the moon is awash with naught but arid basalt. It is far from devoid of interest, however, as the origin and purpose of the apparently artificial structures spotted on its surface have yet to be ascertained. This is really interesting because we've seen in the Endwalker trailer a creature similar to the first beast of Amarot attacking the Warrior of Light. I don't know what that means. Is this where maybe they offloaded some of those first creations from the Ashen or the ancient final days? Because I mean we're getting another one. You know what I mean? We gotta be particular now. We have to be oh yeah, it's our final days or the ancient final days. Not as final as advertised. The new tribes, the Arxidera, because oh my god, I love these chonky boys. Look at him. Look at how magnificent this chonky boy is. His arms are wrinkled with muscle and vibrance. Like the other Matanga peoples, the Arxidora resemble the Great Marid both in appearance and brawn. They're indigenous to the Isle of Thavnair and they founded the city-state of Razad-Han together with the Aran here at migrants. I did not know that. I did not know that before reading this. That's actually a very interesting detail. Their bulky frames belie their deftness of hand, and their thirst for knowledge has led to many to pursue mastery of the alchemic arts. So, alchemy means? We have the little Loporrits, the tiny bunny people. They're so cute. Eorzean myth tells of a curious wanderer known as Naming Way, descended from an unknown people that traveled to the realm from the moon. Let's go, moon rabbits! The Loveports appear to have much in common with the being a legend, though questions regarding their current whereabouts and much else besides remains unanswered. I think the general thing is that we're going to have a Moon Beast tribe, the general consensus. They might have confirmed that, I don't know. Okay, real quick, before we get into the next section, I want to give a spoiler warning for Endwalker. I'm going to be talking about things that we learned in the media tour, covering also like the first dungeon, what the changes to this website mean. So this is your heads up, spoiler warning. Okay, this is a very important section. It says new threats here, and it has Anima and the Magus Sisters. Now these two had been revealed, I think when the expansion itself was revealed. My girl Anima, I'm so hyped. I am a big Final Fantasy X fan. Seeing Anima there, it's like, oh, yes. And then the Magus Sisters are like baller. They were in Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy IV. They're super fun. I like their new naming convention, Sandurva, and Mindurva. This page has actually undergone some changes as part of this update. So this right here where it says new threats, this originally said new trials. And that is an important distinction, because in the Endwalker media tour, in the first dungeon, the Tower of Zod, the boss of that dungeon was the Magus Sisters. So there was some discussion in the community when this page got updated and it said new trials and the Magus Sisters were still listed. We were thinking, is it a translation issue? Is it that the Magus Sisters will be a dungeon boss and then return later as a primal? That seems like a weird primal slot, because usually the expansions have, like, you know, 3 primals, or 3 trials, I should say. But they later came back and updated this to say new threats. This implies to me that even though they look like primals, Square Enix is being very clever by breaking convention here with their naming, or at least the English localization, and saying, oh yeah, here are these primal-looking things. Don't think about the fact that there are 2 primal slots that aren't revealed. In Shadowbringers, I have the old I have the old Shadowbringers website pulled up. They did use this language of new trials, and they did call out Titania and Innocence. Even though Innocence might be a little bit spoilery, the nature of Innocence makes it not that big of a spoiler. But they definitely called out new trials, and these were both our trials. And then, of course, Hades was the third one, the third story relevant. But we only have 2 or 1 here that is actually a trial, and they went out of their way to make sure that they don't specifically call Magus Sisters a trial. This means that there are at least 2 trials in Endwalker that Square Enix considers spoiler-tastic enough to not tell us about, which is exciting. That should be what this like grand conclusion is all about. I'm just so excited. I am pumped. I'm wondering if Anima is Xenos' Reaper avatar. I'm wondering a lot of things. I have so many theories there. But this is a very interesting section. This change alone seems to confirm that it was probably a mistranslation. What does that leave us? What are they hiding? Oh, I want to know. I want Endwalker to be here soon. Let's look at the new jobs. Yeah, there's Sage and Reaper. Both of these look fantastic. I'm not going to get too far into those here. I think that there's been plenty of coverage from the media tour about them. Changes to the battle system. The job action trailer is lit. I'm glad that my boy Scholar and Paladin are both solid. Scholar we were all worried about during the job action trailer, but it looks actually super solid. And Paladin, they just like, you know, like they just going on Paladin. Okay, more interesting things, the new challenges. As the stakes rise higher and higher, adventurers face peril at every turn. Prepare for the adversary through yada yada yada, and then go chill in Island Sanctuary. So the new Alliance Raid, the 24-man Alliance Raid that will be released in 6.1, is Myths of the Realm. Since time immemorial, a pantheon of gods known as the 12 has presided over the land of Eorzea. I don't know why I changed the accent there. Faith in these divine beings permeates all facets of life, and its influence is present in the practice of every craft and heritage of each clan and the customs of villages and nations across the realm. Now the quest begins to discover how their tale began, and perhaps how it shall end. This is interesting. I don't know if there's too much to glean here. It's really nice that we're diving back into the 12 now that we're resolving the Heidelin and Zodiac arc, because I feel like the 12, besides like some like kind of just lore that is sprinkled here and there, we don't really actually know that much about them. At least we haven't explored much about them in the main scenario. We know that like they prayed down upon the 12 for the to try to rebind Bahamut when he like yeeted Veneted out of the out of Dalamun. And we know that Gaius put the 12 on blast in Praetorium, because we've all seen that cutscene 5 million times. But apart from that, we don't know too much besides, like, oh yeah, here's a side quest that mentions these things about the 12 in lore. So I'm really interested to see this expanded upon. New high-end raid. This is going to be our normal and savage 8-man raids, Pandemonium. Nobody had any clue what Pandemonium was about. Before this, there was this mask with La Habrea. This was the info, or the graphic that they put, and we're like, what does La Habrea have to do with this? But they've added a description, and I think this description is actually quite telling. Far beneath the ground upon which mortals tread, steeped in darkness, deep as starless night, ancient power lies dormant. Too hungry, too brutal, too monstrous, what cannot be controlled must be contained here in Pandemonium. Dare you make the descent? There are a lot of theories about Pandemonium. Pandemonium is a locale that has appeared throughout Final Fantasy. It was literally hell, I think, in Final Fantasy II. Pandemonium was also in Final Fantasy IX, and I want to say it was in quite a few others that I'm just, like, not remembering right now. But there was a lot of theories about what Pandemonium could mean, if it was a reference to previous Final Fantasies, and it might still be. But this description lends to a theory that is more Final Fantasy XIV native in a lot of ways. So we know that La Habrea is involved, and we know that La Habrea is Yeetus Venetus into the live stream. He dead. He gone. He gonzo. We also know from just like lore that's a little bit outside of the game, sort of the short stories about the ancients and everything that was released after Shadowbringers, that La Habrea had a knack for creating monsters in ancient Amarant. He was really good at creating monsters. He was the original creator of the inspiration for Ifrit. He would conceive of these creatures, and he would make them real. I think they also cover this a little bit in-game in Amarant. I could be misremembering that, though. But either way, he was very good at creating things and creating these new creatures to go about the land. Now, this reads to me like some of those creatures might have been too powerful that he created, and they decided to seal them away. So we might literally be fighting La Habrea's little box of horrors, which is so fucking cool. That's so cool. But that's my current theory there. New dungeons. This is showing off a new dungeon. I'm not going to say the name again because I already said it in the spoiler-tastic section for the new trials. But this is really cool. It was not what I expected. What's this? Wait. What's this? Oh yeah, they showed this off before. I was like, huh, I don't remember that. But doesn't this look sick? Doesn't this look sick? Oh. New small-scale PvP content. The perfect introduction to PvP. This brand new content brings the opportunity for casual players to participate in heart-pounding battles without role restrictions. This is one of those I'll make a judgment on it when I see it. PvP has never been Final Fantasy XIV's strong suit. It's always been kind of like this niche section of Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm not going to put too much faith in this until we get some details. I hope that it's something that more casual players can play, because PvP is just not very approachable in Final Fantasy. I don't know. It's a rough bag there. Island Sanctuary. There is nothing on this page that tells us anything that we didn't already know. But in an interview with Yoshi P, he did clarify some things about Island Sanctuary. He's a little hesitant, apparently, to go into too much detail, but you can choose what kinds of buildings to place, and you can let your minions roam free. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. So they're trying to temper expectations because they don't want people to call it Animal Crossing in Final Fantasy, but it does look like there's a lot of fluidity in the system. Just based on the description, your friends are confirmed to be able to like visit and chat with you, which is fantastic. So it's kind of like instanced housing, which is exciting. People have been asking for some form of instanced housing, and Square has been resistant to it. And this seems like a really, really cool compromise. Bunny boys are coming. You notice they call out bunny boys. No cat women. no cat women. I know that they're not getting to female Hrothgar for a while, but Melviera will be available on launch. So I'm going to restrain my salt about no Ronso women. But the Melviera are looking interesting. They look like they are submissive and breedable compared to their female counterparts. The data center travel system, I don't think this is going to make it in at launch. I know that they were aiming to have it before the Endwalker launch, but due to various server problems, due to the semiconductor shortage and COVID-19, they said that it definitely wasn't going to happen before launch. Maybe they'll get it in at launch. That seems like a dangerous play. But I'm looking forward to this. I think that being able to travel between data centers is huge for the game. Ishgard housing in the Imperium. Let's go. We've been asking for this for years. And we get Estinian as a trust ally. I think they confirmed this before. That doesn't surprise me. But it's nice to see it like on the page, front and center. New gear, no shit. Increased level cap, no shit. And the new Oceania data center, that doesn't really affect me personally, but I know a lot of people were asking for that, which is really exciting. So yeah, that was the entire Endwalker page right now. Okay, the entire Endwalker page. I know I went through a lot of it, but I really wanted to highlight the news we got about Pandemonium. We finally have some information on what this could be related to, and this weird translation localization issue where they changed from trials to threats, which probably means that these aren't actually trials, and they are hiding whatever the last two trials are of the expansion, which is super exciting. I have no idea what it can mean. It sparks speculation because it means that one of the three, if they follow pattern, if they follow pattern and there are 3 trials associated with the main story of the expansion, it means that the Magus Sisters are actually slid out of that slot, which opens up a whole bunch of possibilities. But thank you everybody for watching. I just wanted to go through this to look at it before the expansion. Hey, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe. It's a brand new channel. I did a weird elbow rub. It's a brand new channel, and all of your support is super helpful. I love Final Fantasy here, and I'll talk to you later, boyos. Bye!